Crimson Desert does not hold your hand, and that's clear within the first couple of hours. It drops you into a dense, system-heavy world and expects you to figure most of it out on your own. Some of that is intentional. The game rewards curiosity and exploration, but a lot of it is just poor explanation, and the gap between what the game teaches you and what you actually need to know is wide enough to cause some real problems early on. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the things that the game should have told you, but didn't. Starting out with inventory, because backspace becomes a problem faster than you'd expect. When you first arrive at the trading post at the very start of the game, there's a storage chest inside the tent which has 240 inventory slots. This was actually added to the game after its release in a patch, so a lot of players drive straight past it, so make a point of stopping and using it. That chest is your primary storage for the early game. Now this chest actually relocates to the Gray Men camp once you unlock it in Chapter 3. On top of that, the camp also opens up a range of facilities, vendors, and missions that expand what you can do considerably. So I highly recommend that you push the story and complete Chapter 3 so that you can get access to these things. To expand your carry capacity, commissions are the fastest route. Most merchants in Hernand have them available from the notice board or directly from the NPCs themselves. They're usually simple fetch quests, but each one rewards a medium bag which grants you 3 extra inventory slots. Several merchants also sell small bags for around 50 copper each, 1 slot per bag, and a one-time purchase. As for clutter, you're gonna accumulate a lot of documents over time, bounty notices, books, that sort of thing. Once you've read them, discard them. The ones that can be sold or gifted can simply be dropped and they'll disappear on their own after a certain amount of time has passed. One small quality of life shortcut worth knowing: pressing L3 on a PlayStation controller or T on a PC while in your inventory will group similar items together, which makes it much easier to sort through everything quickly. It won't change how much space items take up, but it makes a cluttered inventory a lot easier to read. Healing works differently here than in most action RPGs, and it's easy to get caught out if you don't know the system going in. Food is your primary healing resource. There are no potions in the traditional sense. When you need to recover, you gotta eat. You can eat mid-combat, so you don't actually have to stop, but that means cooked food needs to be on you before heading into anything dangerous. And the word cooked matters. Eating raw food gives you significantly reduced benefits, so always cook your meals. Recipes are scattered throughout the world, and combining ingredients can reveal new ones. Some recipes require a cooking pot rather than a bonfire, so not everything can be made in the field. A strong early option to prioritize is the clear soup found at the Gray Men camp, which restores 180 health, plus it gives you some ice resistance. If you need something fast and don't have access to a fire or a pot, the blinding flash ability, the one that you use to blind enemies, can cook meat in the field. It'll be basic cooked meat, nothing more, but it beats going into a fight empty. Before any boss or difficult encounter, make sure you have a solid stack ready. Crimson Desert's map system are more layered than they look, and missing how they work means missing fast travel points, skill points, and large sections of the world. To fully reveal the Hernand region, you need to find and ring 3 bells scattered throughout the area. The first is in Hernand town itself, reachable by climbing a tower there. Each bell reveals the map only as far as its sound carries, which is why you need all 3. If you rather let the map fill in naturally as you explore, skipping the bells is a valid approach. It just means some areas stay fogged until you physically travel through them. On the map, pay attention to foggy areas with a question mark in the center. These almost always point to an abyss nexus or a nearby puzzle. Abyss nexuses are your fast travel points. Finding them early matters. The puzzles in these areas typically unlock an abyss crescent, which contains an abyss artifact. Abyss artifacts are your skill points in case you missed that. So if you've been wondering where skill points come from, exploration is the answer. Something else that the game doesn't tell you: you can actually fast travel directly to abyss crescents, not just nexuses, which gives you considerably more options once you've discovered a few. The Blinding Flash skill can help locate nearby nexuses and sealed abyss artifacts. Sealed ones appear as purple icons on the map and require a challenge to unlock them before use. The Abyss, the floating islands, is also not a one and done area. The story of the game doesn't tell you to go back up there for a while, but you can actually return at any point to complete additional puzzles and unlock more Abyss artifacts. It's actually a pretty reliable source of skill points, and it taught me how puzzles function in Crimson Desert. While you're out exploring, keep an eye out on waterfalls. Using the stab ability on a waterfall will break through it and reveal hidden caves behind them, many of which contain loot and gear. The easiest way to tell if a waterfall is worth checking is to look for stacked rocks near the entrance. That's the signal that something is inside. It's a small detail, but it's the kind of thing that you can walk past 100 times without knowing. On the subject of difficult enemies, if you're hitting a wall, just leave. Explore nearby areas, find better gear, and come back stronger. That's not retreating, that's how this game is designed to work. You're not just meant to follow the story non-stop, you're meant to explore the world. Gear refinement is one of the most important systems in Crimson Desert that goes unexplained, and getting your head around it early changes everything. There's no traditional leveling here, your stats come from your equipment. Refining your gear is your primary path to becoming more capable, not grinding enemies. Getting equipment to refinement level 3 or 4 makes a huge difference in how the early game feels. And the main resource you'll need for those levels are copper and iron ore. Mine consistently as you move through the world, and keep your pickaxe in your inventory so you can stop whenever you spot a deposit. Here's something useful. When you get close enough to an ore node, it gets marked on your map automatically, even if you don't mine it right then. That means you can tag deposits as you ride past and return to them later. Nodes also respawn after a number of in-game days, so locations you've already cleared are worth revisiting. The pickaxe, logging axe, and fishing rod are all available from merchants in Hernand early on, so pick them up before you head out. Connected to refinement is the reinforcement bonus, which also goes unexplained. Using a grindstone or anvil on your gear applies a temporary combat buff on top of your base stats. The grindstone raises weapon damage, the anvil improves armor. Early on, locations with both are limited. Hernand Town has a grindstone right behind the armor and weapon vendor. For a spot with both in the early portions of the game, head to the bandit camp just north of the Abyss Crescent near Anvil Hill. Use them both before anything tough. Combat in Crimson Desert has more structure to it than the opening hours suggest, and a few early choices will define how it feels for a long time. Defeating enemies fills a yellow bar next to your minimap, and that progress rewards you with an Abyss artifact, the same skill points you earn through exploration. Spend them to unlock abilities or invest in your 3 core stats: health, stamina, and spirit. Spirit functions like mana, powering your special attacks, tracked by the leaf symbol on screen and recharging naturally over time. The rhythm of combat is about alternating between stamina-consuming heavy attacks and spirit-based abilities, so both resources stay in rotation. The single most important early investment is getting stamina to level 4. That gives you 200 stamina, and that threshold matters because certain skills in the tree are simply unusable below it. You can unlock an ability and still not be able to fire it because you don't meet the stamina requirement. After that, I also recommend that you put some points into your health to increase your survivability. If you want to increase your melee damage output, specifically leveling armed combat is the direct route. It's one of the cleaner progression paths available and worth prioritizing once your stamina and health are sorted. For abilities, one of my favorite ones is the Blinding Flash finisher, so I make it a priority. You can trigger it by using Blinding Flash and then pressing R2 on a PlayStation controller. Time will slow down, you'll teleport across nearby enemies dealing damage, and a shockwave will send them all flying back. It works great against groups of enemies and opens up a free damage window even in boss fights. Also work towards maxing out Keen Sense in the skill tree. It unlocks perfect dodge, parry, and counter, all of which become essential as fights get harder. Evasive roll sets right next to it on the spirit tree and is worth grabbing at the same time. For an early money route, here's something the game won't point you towards. Head to the back alley shop in the outskirts of Hernand Town and pick up a set of keys and a thief's mask. In Crimson Desert, you can't steal things unless you have a mask on. You can also find both by defeating bandits. Put on the mask and head to Lion Crest Manor and climb through one of the second floor windows, then head to the lobby fireplace. There's a gold bar here that's worth 500 silver. Take it to the Hernan Bank and exchange it there. Do not sell it to a regular NPC because they will only give you 190 silver. One warning, if you get caught stealing, you're gonna go to jail and have to pay a fine large enough to push you into negative money. Make sure no one is watching before you take anything. Before heading out into the world or committing to a boss, run through this each time. Armor refinements current, cooked food stocked, and if there's an anvil and grindstone nearby, apply the buff before you go. It takes 2 minutes and it matters. Crimson Desert is a game that opens up significantly once you understand how its systems connect. And most of the friction new players hit isn't about difficulty, it's about not knowing what the game expects from you, but now you do. Thank you all so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more Crimson Desert content. If you have any questions, put it in the comments down below and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you all in the next one.